you grew up in Handsworth, Birmingham.
Yeah, man.
What was your...
I'm the only person you've ever had from fucking Handsworth.
That might be factually correct.
Of course it is.
What about...
Everyone else would rob you from...
What are your food memories of growing up there? I mean, were you into food as a kid? I mean, I know you ran away when you were 15, which we're going to get into in a second.
Oh, man. Look. Food was a fucking nice to have.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I have no stories for you about some of my grandmothers.
No.
You'd be
You're
scared
from
to
an
go
Irish
into food.
family,
Yeah,
is that
all
right?
Irish, working class. My mother worked like hard. My dad worked hard. I got brought up in rough old Irish boozers that they run. And then a factory worker. So my nan brought me out with 50 other people. I think there's 35 people living in my nan's council house at one point. I remember sleeping on a plank of wood at one point in the cupboard. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
So you got fed what you got fed.
Yeah, yeah.
Or you didn't eat. And that's it. You know, at the end of the day, I've got nothing more to say about that. I mean, I used to like finding like KFC chicken bones around the house and stuff like that and sucking on them. So I'm coming from the pub on that. But I have no memories, no. I mean, I think they fed us what they could.
Yeah.
That like kept us going.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of offal. Still got tripe trauma. Fucking horrible.
Really?
Yeah.
You haven't been, yeah.
Irish boiled it in milk and onions, nasty. You can still smell it up the road, man. You know what I mean?
So was that why when you got to 15, you were like, I'm going to run away?
I'll see you later, yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't in search of any kind of food, man.
No. I mean, not just the food, but
I
you
was
wanted...
running away for a reason, man. You know what I mean? I was like, look,
You're like Bruce Springsteen.
I was doing naughty things that I missed out on the childhood bit, right? I'm not special and different, but I had to grow up very fast, and I got involved in stuff at a very early age that I had no business being involved in, right? You know, I was on the terraces and lots of stuff at a very early age. And, you know, when I think back, it was just your programming, it's your learned behaviour. But something, I don't know what it was just something that I thought, like, if I don't get out of here, like, if I don't do something, I'm fucked, I'm going to, you know. And that's it, really. Just wanted to get out.
Did you have a plan, though? Where were you going?
Nah, funny story. Well, so, my mate, who lived on the other side of town that you would never go to, right?
Yeah.
I didn't even go out my neighbourhood. I said to him one day, I said, mate, let's just do one. He's like, where? I'm like, fuck knows. I goes, what about France? And he's like, yeah, right. So let's get some money. And the only person we knew that had any money was his brother had a job, and he was the only other person we knew who had a job.
Yeah.
And we were like, how much do we want? It was like 200 quid. That's like, I don't even know what inflation is now. Like 200 quid. We're like, fucking hell. So anyway, I'm at home and I've like wrote this note. My sister's downstairs and I've left it on the side and I've snuck out the door, right? And I knew that my parents got in, my mum and dad got in at 5 o'clock on the dot every night from the factory or from the pub, whatever. We're sat on the train in New Street, right? We're off to go down to fucking France. We're just waiting, like anxiety, waiting for the train to pull off. Anyway, we get off and we get down to I don't even know, I think it was Portsmouth or something. And we're like, the woman goes, we bought a ticket, my mate bought a ticket, and we're trying to change money up. And the woman goes, why do you want to change money up? We go, well, we're going to France. She goes, you know, you're going to fucking Jersey, you just bought your ticket, like. I'm like, all right, what's that? So we got on a ferry, and the 200 quid that we borrowed was a lot of money.
Yeah.
We bought a litre of vodka, got fucking smashed. And I think we had a bit of lead, and we ate that. I fell asleep and woke up, and my mate had done a lot.
On what?
Casino. And the boat. Right? Now, here's the thing. We get off the boat, and it's like 6 in the morning, if I think back, it's a long time ago. And I saw this great big building, and it was the Grand Hotel. And my mate's fucking lazy at this point, like, and he's gone, I've gone, mate, we've got to go and get a job, we're fucked, right? Yeah. And we're walking into the Grand Hotel, I don't even know what year it was it 85 or something? And it was like, scary kitchen, you know, old school, big hats, 50 cent, loud noises, fucking cow's feet in. Anyway, I've walked up, I found this big old Austrian ex-chef, and I'm like, got a job? And he's like, what do you do? I went, I'll do anything. And he was like, yeah, okay, come back tomorrow. And I got 90 quid a week, and then it was a lot. You think a pint then was like 13p, and fags were like 16 in Jersey. I had the fucking best.
So you were rich. You were like, living like a king.
What were you doing though in the kitchens? Because obviously that was I'm guessing you were
getting in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, go on.
All right. It was old school, right? So I remember a lot of banqueting, a lot of kind of mirror work. Remember that? I'm a bit older. So mirror work was very kind of grand buffet stuff where you kind of like dressed mirrors with like aspects and lots of things like that, you know. So that was going on. There was like the evening service and hot as fuck, right? You know what I mean? Pastry and people from all over the world, misfits, like angry people.
Yeah.
And at 9 o'clock every night, they come down with trays of beers for the kitchen, like, because it was so hot. And that was just every night, same thing. You'd have one beer, like, in the middle of whatever you were doing. So it was a crazy world. I didn't quite like it. I didn't love cooking or being a chef for years.
No.
I didn't like it. I did it out of necessity. Even when I was working at the Belvedere and lots of things, where Marco was, I was just like, I didn't love it. I remember one funny story though. I mean, I used to get in trouble all the fucking time, obviously, or like taking instruction and still don't. You do this repetitive work, right? And I cut my fucking hand again, and I had a blue plaster on it. And you're doing this buffet work, so there's 200 of you. One puts this on, next you go down the line and all the plates. Halfway down, plaster's fucking gone. Right? What do? You say, hey. You just don't know what to do. And I'll never forget, it was Douglas Hearn or something was coming in for this banquet or something. Anyway, I thought, fuck it, I'm not saying anything.
No, head down.
Fucking head down, carried on, push through. Next morning, come in, I hear, Clarke! Oh, fuck. Walk in the back office, like, look, yes, Jeff. He said, did you cut your finger yesterday? I said, nah. He said, did you have a plaster on? Nah. Well, I don't know why. He goes, well, Douglas Hearn's wife found a plaster in the food and passed out at the banquet last night.
Oh my god.
And
that's hilarious.
If he's listening, he's probably dead now anyway. But I did it.
Well, look, you're enjoying those chips. You say trips don't travel well.
Listen, they're all
I think you're giving them a 10 out of 10. That chicken's unbelievable.
This chicken is chicken bangs.
Yeah, the chicken's fucking good. We should say, obviously, when you were there, I mean, we're talking of chips. Were you turning potatoes every day? Apparently you hit a record.
Yeah, I'm the greatest potato turner. Jack Stein will tell you he is, but he's not.
Really?
I am.
It's you.
Yeah.
How many were you doing a day or a week?
Okay. I missed that bit. Yeah, so my first job for 6 months was basically getting trench foot in this room with an old fucking, like, they used to call them potato rumblers.
Yeah, rumbler, yeah.
Yeah. But all the potatoes had those eyes in them, right?
Yeah.
So you'd have to rumble all the potatoes, you fucking up to your ankles in water all day, take all the eyes out, then turn them 7 sides, every fucking one. You just got really good at it. And after one day, I've opened my kitchen drawer now at home, I've always got a turning knife. I don't know how many chefs have a fucking turning knife. Jack Stein will have a turning knife because, we used to have this thing. But, yeah.
But look, so you didn't like it,
No.
and you were fucking around. But were you quite good at it? 'Cause I mean, like, we'll get on to the rest of your CV as we go through.
Good subjective, isn't it? What is good? Not getting fired or fucking beat up. I've managed to swerve that, yeah.
But were you not? You wouldn't say at some point you thought, like, I'm half decent at this?
I thought at some point this is something that I can do without failing.
Yeah, right.
Or feeling like I failed.
Yeah.
Basically. Did I like the food? Not really.
No.
I think I liked it because I got fed and got paid.
Well, you were getting paid bloody well. 2 years. Well, why do you then decide to go to the Marines to be a cook?
Well, funny story.
Especially if you don't like being told what to do.
Well, this is another story. So, my mother, in her words of wisdom, like, she said to me, like, I think it's in my book, she said to me, like, I forget what the words were, like, she goes, you're going to be a hairdresser or a fucking chef. And I'm like, I mean, no, this is, no, I've got to be careful of my appropriation, right? I'm Gen X, so I try my best. But thinking, even the thoughts of being gay at that point in my life, you just didn't even think that. And I was like, fuck that, being a hairdresser, right? See, I just think about being gay straight away. There's programming, no disrespect to anybody there. And I was like, what's a chef? Like cooking? And she goes, yeah. And her logic was, and it's right, you'll be able to get a job anywhere in the world. Yeah. People always want to eat or get a haircut. So I'm like, fuck that, I'm off. So she goes, she said, I won't go into it. Something bad happened at school, and I got asked to kind of like exit through the gift shop a bit early. And she was like, right. And being Irish as well at the point, like, you know what I mean? I felt quite like political, you know what I mean? I didn't really, feel good about going into the British forces and stuff. She said, well, why don't you go and take an exam, take a test, do this thing, you're going to go there, or something bad's going to happen. So I went there, I took this test. They said, you're underweight, go away, put some weight on, come back. But what they didn't tell me is that they passed me. So I'm in Jersey, and one day my mum's phone, I phoned my mum, it's days of the phone boxes, by the way, young people listening, you had to go get the phone box. And she goes, there's a letter here for you, you need to come home. And I'm like, what the fuck? She goes, yeah, you're going into the Marines. I'm like, no. And that was it.
Fuck.
And so, like, then I spent a few years travelling the world.
6 years, isn't it? You were there?
Doing things.
Yeah, 6 years.
6
you've been
years.
Is that right?
Well, go on.
Where'd
Give
you go? Yeah,
give us some of the gory stories.
I
Give
don't
us
really like talking about it too much.
give us some
No,
dirt. Well,
really.
come on. We've been waiting for you for years, Carl.
What do you want me to do? Glamorise it?
No, just give us your memories. Things which are coming to your head though, where
Okay.
you were thinking,
Well,
maybe I won't say. Same.
From a boy that was from Handsworth, Birmingham, that has never been anywhere really or knew anything about the world. At 19, getting off a ship in Fort Lauderdale in Florida was fucking unbelievable.
Oh.
Right, and just kind of like Miami was a very different place then, right? And being 19 in Miami and just in America was just mental. It just opened my mind to and I had a lot of good times, man. We had a lot of good times and a lot of troubling times. I was a handful, I was such a handful that they used to fucking call my mom, so come and get him, right?
Really?
Yeah, I was like I was a handful from when I got there. I didn't want to do anything I was told, obviously. I was rebellious. I was all these things. And, I guess you just become unmanageable, right? I had a lot of fun. I saw a lot of the world that I never would have seen. And a lot of experiences. I won't say good or bad. They're experiences. What it did, it taught me about... It gave me the first... put me around other men and other people. It taught me how to do basic things to look after myself. I did a lot of cleaning.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Were you cooking all that time in the Marines?
On and off.
Yeah.
Some bits were cooking, and towards the end, not. I can't really say.
So they know more.
They gave you a gun instead of a pan.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
But what was it like cooking? Like, were you on a boat or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, massive. Like aircraft carriers.
Yeah.
Huge. I think
Was it
a
the
long
same
time ago.
food every day? Like,
No, it's
Monday's
really
chili
good.
day, Tuesday.
No, it's kind of. But
Yeah.
if I remember my life, like huge kitchens, like, and lots of choice, but I can't even remember. I remember it being really good.
Yeah.
Basic, but you're feeding like 2,000 people, right? So a lot of I can't remember now, like, but it was so well run.
Must have been some good parties. Navy strength rum. I mean, come on.
What parties?
Yeah, don't know.
That's all I've ever done.
Yeah.
You're looking for parties when I was in the Marines?
Yeah.
I mean,
Does it get lively?
what? Yeah,
Does it?
gets rude.
Come on.
Really?
What was the best party? I can see your eyes lighting up, Clarke.
I can't.
And it can't just be that delicious merguez.
It was such
It can be.
Mate, the Mergos will do that. To you.
Yeah.
That was such a long time ago. I remember when you drank, you drank. When you fought, you fought. When you slept, you slept.
Yeah.
When
Beautiful.
you cleaned, you cleaned.
Well,
That was it.
Yeah.
when you did leave the military after 6 years, you get into the family business, which is sort of, well, your family owned terminals in London, right? The nightclub.
It was kind of
Did they?
like, just, a kind of like, distant kind of Irish kind of family.
A distance family.
Yeah.
But like same surname, maybe Clarke.
Yeah.
No,
not Clarke.
Not even Clarke.
Newman.
Newman, okay. So you go to London though. I'm guessing you're working in the club. How do you then start spinning the decks?
No, let's roll back a bit. So then, like, years went on, and you got to kind of like 1988, right? Which is when I kind of like was coming out. I started raving, and like, you got to think, in probably about 87, everything started to kind of like happen, right? And all of a sudden, it was at a load of illegal parties, big raves and stuff like that, doing things, and loving the world. Kind of like killed a lot of violent people. This magic thing that came along. And just really got into rave music. It changed my life, really. Do you know what I mean? I think I've always belonged to kind of culture groups and always kind of wanted, just lent into that.
Yeah.
It changed the world, right? And then I kind of like was always into music. Got some decks early on. Like, I don't know how I got them. I can't even remember. I certainly didn't buy them. But anyway, I got some decks. Started to put on parties and all that around South Coast. Going to parties. Used to go to Stearns. Used to go to like Horsham with like Cole Cox back in the day, and all the older energies, all this stuff. Like, and then one of my exes, ex. I mean, it's a few down the line now. Bless her. She'd gone to university in London, and I was like, oh yeah, I've got some cousins or some family somewhere, like they got this club and things like that. And I was like, right, I'm coming to sleep on your floor. And then I went one night down to the Turnmills. I bought a records, and I was like, played some, and my cousin just goes, do you want to play some records? He goes, yeah. And that was it. I was 10 years later, I was still there.
Unbelievable. Resident
Flying
DJ,
around the
10
world.
years.
Resident Turnmills, flew around the world, made an album,
Yeah.
shitloads of music.
What was the best gig you ever did?
Okay, the best one I ever did
Yeah.
was the one that everyone wanted to do. Was I went for 24 hours to Buenos Aires from London to Pasha on a Thursday night. It's when it was fucking nuts. Like it was like 2,000 people, open air, like, and turn around and Maradona's behind me, like off his suite. You know what I mean? It's like the best gig in the fucking world. You know what I mean? And I remember dropping Donna Summer, I Feel Love, and I used to drop it like at the back of this acid house, like 8-minute track, and I'd bring it in and out, and I'd keep the bass out forever until it drops. And I remember dropping the bass, and the whole place went mad. And Maradona's behind me. It was just like fucking magical. I'm like, oh my god, this is like, the night never ended.
That's
but
unbelievable.
Like, that was the best.
Did you end up having the night out with Maradona? Because I'm guessing you don't sleep for 3-4 days when you're out there.
We had a few words.
Yeah. Yeah. You said a couple of
We
things
hung out
together.
for a minute.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was the longest you stayed awake raving? I mean, you must have done weeks, right?
I used to go to raves and not come home for 6 weeks.
Really?
Well, back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh man, I used to go to all the Travellers festivals. I used to love all the free parties. Like, so these are the days when you go to Glastonbury, and you pay someone £3 to jump over a rope. But you actually never used to put. The best parties were outside. All the New Age Travellers used to have like trance parties and all that.
Yeah.
Acid parties. So we just kind of like go on the road, man.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Longest you stayed awake ever?
Awake,
Yeah.
mate.
Hard to say.
Long time.
Yeah. Days? Weeks?
Days. I don't think anyone
No,
knows.
days.
I know
Yeah,
she's got a
days, yeah.
serious meth problem. I'm not
What's the
sure.
longest you stayed awake?
Yeah, I don't know. Couple
You
of days.
used to
maybe.
rave a bit.
I used to rave back in the day. Well, I didn't break the Chemical Brothers though, and you did.
Well,
Come on.
Turnmills, we did a lot. We were like, we were just at the right time, right? So, I started off in the back room at the gallery, which was the famous night. So I had electronica, and then that became really famous as like the other room, and I'd have people on like Aphex Twin doing acid house and AO Estate, and I brought the Rocksteady crew over from America first time for like years, and then I moved into Head Start, which was the Saturday night. And that was just all our mates at the time. Don't forget, I won't give away figures, but like we were paying kind of like double digits to like Norman Cook and places like that, and Tom and Ed were just friends, Chemicals, and everyone was. It was just that era when everyone was coming up, together, and it was just a magical place. So I'm not sure about breaking them, but we're all in the club together playing. Yeah, definitely.
But you were making like over $2,000 a gig even back then. Why do you then go like and you
I had a
travel?
wardrobe full of money,
Yeah, really.
Really?
Cash money.
cash money, man. Like literally,
You used to sleep in a wardrobe. Now you got a wardrobe of cash.
I don't even know.
That's the name of the pot.
I over exaggerate, but I'd have so much cash that I'd be like, when I think back now, I was probably richer then. But anyway, I'd just put my hand in the wardrobe, feel around with money.
Take a bit.
Until there was none. Yeah, take a bit.
Take a bit.
Take a bit. Like, until it was like, that feels a bit light, you know what I mean?
Wow,
Fuck me.
that's
But
incredible.
everyone got paid cash.
Yeah.
Big difference though. We weren't in it for a business like the kids now.
No,
Like,
of course.
my daughter, she's well measured now, and they're in more ways than one.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
were very much a generation of empty pockets and fucking do
Yeah.
as much as you can, see what happens.
Yeah.
Everyone's a bit like, and of course, fair play. The kids are business minded now, and it's great for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And some from my generation were as well, very successful. We were just out getting paid to party, man.
Is Norman Cook quite like? I mean, Norman Cook is sort of
I haven't seen him for years, man.
no, but he's managed to sort of break over generations and break into sort of so many different demographics.
Never stopped. I saw a video of him DJing at Butlins the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, he's like
a
Greg's.
grinder.
It's like Greg's, right? It's
Yeah.
the greatest brand that ever.
Yeah,
Greg's
yeah.
is the people's brand, right?
Yeah.
You can put a Greg's in Holland Park and you put a Greg's in Answorth, Birmingham.
Yeah,
and
it
they're
all
both
makes sense.
It's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
people's
Yeah.
brand. They built an empire on sausage rolls.
Yeah.
Amazing. Got the corner site on Leicester Square. I guess Norman's a bit like that, right?
Yeah.
He's like the people's DJ. Put him anywhere.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you're the people see Jay Myers. But I mean, what was?
We should have got some decks. I can still spin
Come on, Jamie, producer Jamie, can you go get some decks and stuff? I mean, but what was the decision? Because obviously you're making fuckloads of money, you're traveling the world, you're staying up for days, you're partnering with Maradona. Why do you then go? I tell you what, I want to go get beaten up by Marco Pierre White every day in the kitchen.
That's it. That's you've just said it. Like, how sustainable is it?
Right, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And not my daughter's here. But you know, she were very like. I went to the Miami Music Conference, which happened every year, which was the world's greatest fucking. It was just amazing. Right?
Yeah.
You know, you just rocked up. It like be Sasha playing in the basement somewhere. It was just everyone that was out there. I think it's all a bit corporate now, but then it was just like know, fucking mafia bosses. Anyway, I met my my daughter's mother. I'll say it in the correct way. For one night, quite a short time, and then came back to London. And 3 months later, she said, "Hey, you know, I think I better come and see you." And then 9 months later, we had a baby.
Well.
And so, Wells and stuff, and
Yeah.
it was a very, yeah, I say, it was a very tricky time in life, right? Coming from that world of where it's just consistent kind of party and getting paid for that, and you know, around all this noise, and I guess over time it becomes unhealthy, right?
Yeah.
You just don't know. You're just forming habits, and then so good things come to an end. That's it. That's the law of the universe. People die. People are born.
Yeah.
Love's not forever. You know, I truly believe that. And then chance coming out of that world into this other world where everything's quieting down. It was quite difficult, right? So I then had to kind of like find something else to do. That's fucking it.
Yeah.
But was it chasing the buzz? Like, obviously, so many people have said
Yeah,
that
replacing
that addiction you get from being in a kitchen.
Absolute addiction.
Yeah.
Whether it's, I guess that we are misfits, right? We are diseased, but we're just forming that through life, right? I'm extreme, and I have to manage that extreme, and that's all I've ever been until I understood I am. All my choices in life have been extreme because where I was born, you know, I'm not special or different, by the way, but it's around a lot of stuff: silent fear, violence, all that stuff. It's your programming. Then you just become comfortable. I'm comfortable in extreme situations.
Yeah.
I do Muay Thai. I'm comfortable. You know, I've chose to go to Marines. Comfortable. If you see the pattern now, going to rave, going clubs, comfortable. It's extreme.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you come out. You've got to search for extreme again, right? Where's the most extreme place? Fucking kitchen, right? In them days, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think Matt Black was my head chef back then. Yeah, Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And that decision was made for that was an extreme kitchen to go into.
Fucking extreme.
Yeah.
So what was it like walking in there?
Well, I remember turning up at the back door, I think, at the Criterion, and just I think Matt was there, and I was just like, got a job, and he's like, nah, come back tomorrow. I was like, weird. I just fucked off and come back the next day. I didn't have any money. It was just skin. I'd done all my dough by this point. Like, everything had gone. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I eventually got a job, and what I think I spent like, you know, I was on the cold larder. There was days when I could still reel the menu off by a mind now. It was the parfait with Madeira jelly on the plate, and everything had to be fucking perfect. This is the days before, like, you know, all the fucking machinery that people have now, right? Do you know what I mean? It was graft, you know. The parfait foie gras was on, the terrine foie gras, the salmon ballantine, which was a fucker to make, like, you know, it was on my section, and you were just in constant fear. But to be honest with you, I'm not going to complain about it. I didn't mind it.
No.
It's what it is. I chose. It's the life I chose, right?
Yeah.
Do I condone it? Do I think it was? It's just a time. I'm not going to cry about it.
Yeah.
I had bad times. Not many good. It was all right. You know, I think. When I think back, it was the foundation of learning how to cook properly. I don't think that leaves you. And also discipline, whether it's right or wrong, whatever people say, you know, it's survival. And you either survive in those extreme places or you don't.
Yeah.
I can't make excuses for it.
Did Marco ever come in or not?
A couple of times.
Yeah. Good fun? Because everyone who's come on said he's a genius, but he is completely insane.
It has been
Yeah,
said.
no. I remember him just being all right, man. I mean, towards the end, you know what I mean. I remember him coming in with smoking a Marlboro and stuff like that on the pass and stuff, and it was kind of like, yeah, you know, I don't have anything bad to say about it. For me, it was tough. It was a grind. You learnt fast. If you fucked up, you knew about it. It was a bit violent places, like a school playground, right?
Mm.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
A lot of burns. I mean, you know, you didn't really, you know, yeah, you slept in your whites, and you fucking
Really?
worked
Long
in your
hours,
white,
yeah.
like, you know, worked in your white. If you ever, I mean, I think about when I think back to it, like, it's so much measured that if you got a break, which we rarely fucking did, you were either peeling Girel's outside on the grass, or if you went to the boozer in an hour, you could do 8 pints and come back to service for that. And that was, you know, that was normal back then. Like, people just go and tank it, you know, and come back and then go after, you know.
And were people taking drugs during service and stuff, or
I
not?
didn't see any of that.
No.
No, it wasn't really like. I probably was. I can't remember, but I mean, There wasn't. I'm not going to say it was gack and everything around.
No.
That wasn't the culture.
Not the culture. Booze.
Booze.
Hardcore booze, yeah. But maybe people did when they went out and stuff. But
Yeah.
you know, I don't know if some people tell some fantasy stories about like people racking up. I mean, I did that much later on in life and found that it doesn't really fucking work.
No.
Well, when you've done 2 grams and you're on the pass and you're fucking like this,
Yeah.
it doesn't work. You just get angry.
It's not the best. Yeah,
Horrible. You like food. You're like that.
yeah. Get that away from it. Yeah.
Don't worry, I've been there.
Well, we've had the great jockey Petri on from the Fat Duck.
Beautiful.
Lovely man.
What a man.
Amazing.
You ended up in the development kitchen there for a bit, is that right?
No.
No?
No. Jockey
Absolutely
and I,
not.
Absolutely not.
No.
Jockey and I crossed paths. We did. I teamed up with Jonathan Downey, who you probably know. Back in the day when it was a beautiful time in food. It was like the culture was shifting massively. So it was like I was there, James Lowe, Nappet. It was that kind of generation. And then when Street Feast started to kick off, and it was like fucking rock and roll, right? It was amazing. And you had all these chefs, and all of a sudden, like
Stevie Pearl?
bit posh Stevie.
Sorry, man. I got overexcited.
But
He teamed up with Jonathan Day. You are right on
no,
that.
but he is now.
Yeah,
Yeah. They're great together. I love Steve. Don't get me wrong. And then what you did, you. I think this was. I'd done all the pop-ups by this point. David and I had done all the God Save the Clams and all that stuff, and we'd created this kind of like, you know, it was half illegal, right? And then we created this kind of mayhem, and so we had this kind of thing, and there was this whole rock and roll spirit of chefs just kind of acknowledging the good burgers and this for the first time, and all barriers came down. Don't forget, we come from a culture where people didn't share, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, people are sharing like recipes and like saying, "Oh, I love your burgers," and I was like, it was a total different culture. It was exciting. It was like, you know, it was exciting. It was dynamic. It was like Jonathan Downey had huge, you know, did amazing things.
Yeah.
Amazing things. Like, you know, the guy's a visionary, right? You know, back in the day, and Street Feast, the original one in Dalston. It was just like. It was like fucking Glasto for chefs,
quite a
man,
magic
on Friday
moment,
night.
wasn't it?
It was just bonkers. It wasn't even about the food, really. I mean, that's where it got serious. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was fantastic times. And then, so around that time, this is before, I think it was the restaurant before Chicken Sours, actually. I got into the Rotary Bar and Diner, and I think we had it for 10 months, and it was like on Old Street, the old Old Street roundabout, you know. And it was brilliant. JD did the bar downstairs. We did it all out. I did the food, and it was, wow, you know, it was just really vibey, buzzy place. And I did this pop-up called the 3 J's, I think. So it was James Nappet, James Lowe, and Jockey, and we did this Sunday. And I've been out all night. No. Anyway, it was chaos. And Jockey did one of the courses, and that's where he did the cigar smoke or the puff of smoke kind of thing.
Yeah.
We hung around for a little bit. I haven't seen him for years, like, you know.
Beautiful man.
Nice
I
man.
haven't seen him for a long time, but I see what he's doing. He's doing great things, I think, you know.
But you ate at the Fat Duck?
I ate the Fat Duck
Did
a long time ago.
A lot of chefs say, you know, some restaurants sort of wow them. Was that a wow moment, or were you just?
Yeah, no. Listen,
were you not that impressed by the kind of
I saved
art?
up for like, this is a long time ago, you know. You got to think. This might have been 15 years ago when I went, and it was just, yeah. I mean, you know, it was mind blowing. You know, I was still a chef then. I was like, how the fuck do you do this? This is like, it was incredible, and not just the food, the generosity. I mean, we left there hammered. You know what I mean? And it was just about the generosity. You know, just hospitality at its best, and the food, everything about it. I still think it's one of the best experiences I've ever had. I haven't been back since. I'd like to go back now. Jockey's there. It's on my list to do. Yeah, definitely.
Well, we had Heston recently. He's still rock and rolling. Talking about rock and roll. I mean, you ended up in Dublin.
Ended up in Dublin.
Working for U2.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, that was cool. So, I mean, you're getting into the heights of fucking, like, when I'm in, like, my rock and roll years. This is mayhem. I'm flat out at this point, like, in many ways. I think, where did I go there? Hang on, let me just retrace.
Clarence Hotel in Dublin, right? Wasn't it?
I came to the Clarence. Why did I end up at the Clarence? Oh, yeah. I was in America as well for a little while. Yeah, I'd got asked to leave America as well at this point. Like, I went for a stage of kind of like, I went to the States. Here we go. So anyway, when you were at the Belvedere, every Christmas morning, a fucking minibus would turn up at your house at 4 a.m. and take you there, and it was fucking depressing. And after going to, on the grind, one day I felt, fuck it, I'm not going. Done. That was like, those days to do that. Like, those are the days that you would like. You couldn't even think about. You didn't even know if you were going to get paid at the end of the month, right? Let alone if you said you're going on holiday, it's like, well, you're not coming back, right? If you left somewhere, you'd never get a job. There was only like a few places to work, right? There was like Kaufman, I think. There was a few places. Anyway, I'd managed to scrap. I think at that point, like, I was with someone I had some money, what was left of the money, and I remember very kind of like, I was probably in having a breakdown or something at that point. I remember going down to the bank and taking all my cash out, which was about like $7,000 or something. Yeah. I had this old duffel on. I slit the line in the duffel and I stuck fucking $7,000 in there. And I phoned a mate up and goes, "Where's fucking cool in America?" He goes, "Go Savannah, man. It's really good." And I'm like, "Really? All right, then let's go there." and then I got a flight to Savannah, Georgia. Never knew anything about it. And then and basically spent the first kind of like 2 weeks spending that money that was in my duffel coat on things and people and places and having a good time, and eventually got a job. And it's really funny because like I come out of that culture, right? That kind of like that culture of very easy those days. Like everything was just shit or good, no middle bit, like And then I got a job at this place called the Sapphire Grill, which was like the best place in kind of like Savannah. I was totally fucking illegal, right? Never had any papers, just bragged it. Like, it was the days when you could lie, right? Yeah, they're in the post. Yeah. Anyway, so I got a job on this thing, and I'm thinking I'm the nuts, right? I'm like, yeah. And there's this guy who's on pastry, and the thing is, you get three red cards, right? The first 3 days I got 8. Right? You're gone. But they got guys that could been there for years, but were terrible at what they do. But the culture and the politics, they can't get rid of them because of the law. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, time went on, and then there was I ended up working for the Gerald Ford plantation, which is Gerald Ford. Yeah. Weirdly. So anyway, it's this huge estate out in the middle of nowhere. And it's amazing, and literally I'm getting paid a fortune. I'm totally illegal at this point, right? I'm doing all sorts and not actually working because they're away all the time, and they've got all these properties. So all I was doing, there was a guy called Jimmy, an old black guy who was like, I don't know what he used to do anyway. He used to make moonshine, and we used to get fucked up out of grain all day, right? And then one day he gave me this tablet. He went, "You ever had a Xanax?" And I'm like, "What the fuck? No, let's have that." And I was just like, "Yes, this is brilliant." This is so that was my first introduction to prescription drugs, and I loved it. So we had this scam where I'd buy shit weed, and I'd go around all the old age pensioners that lived on the give us some more weed for their prescription drugs.
That's brilliant.
So I got caught.
So this is when you're chef to the ex-president.
The ex-president.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So we had to leave.
As I said, it's an extraordinary CV.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And then this is what leads into Ireland. So
Bono likes a bit of that, though. He looks at that CV and he goes, "I need this."
I like the look of this.
Yeah.
At that point, then my I met my friend. He goes like, "Check out the Clarence." My friend was working there, and I ended up at the Clarence, and that's where I was with U2 for a while. You know what I mean? It's quite interesting. The day we walked in there, it's like I had a star at the time, and went in there, was working and worked, and it was all right at the Clarence. So it was, and it's really weird because I DJ'd there loads of times. There's a club called the Kitchen, which was really famous back in the 90s on Thursday nights, and then all of a sudden I'm not the rock star. I'm working in the kitchen now, you know, but still trying to be the rock star. And I had good times there. Do you know what I mean? I've got a funny story actually. So the day I walked in, about a week after, the chef was leaving, the head chef Tomo, who's a great guy, flat dub, and Tomo left, and I think there was 18 chefs in the kitchen that day, and I think 16 left with him. There's me in the kitchen porter.
Well,
I'm just
I guess I'm running the show.
what
then.
the fuck happens now? Like, do you know what I mean? And anyway, so the Michelin inspector, all they thought was in the dining room that night, right? And one of the desserts was like creme anglaise. I was like, fuck. And I shouted over to the KP who was doing the pastries at that time. I was like, where's the creme anglaise? He goes, well, we haven't got any. I'm like, what the fuck? So anyway, I said, all right then, look, I think with maturity, you know how to get yourself out of the shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, where's the shop? And I legged it down the shop and I see custard in a tin, like bird's custard. I'm like, yes, I can do
That'll
this.
do.
It's brilliant. If anyone's listening, this is a great trick. And then so you heat up the custard, then Monte it, loads of butter, put it through the tammy 3 times. I served it up. He was like, this is fucking brilliant. But he wasn't the Michelin guy in the end anyway.
oh,
But he said it was the best custard he ever had. But,
Well.
Come on.
so there's no need to be doing all that mise en place every day. Just
fuck
fucking
that.
get down the
Oh, there's
offie.
loads of emulsifiers in there anyway.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you pretend for years like that. You kind of like, that. Yeah. Anyway, you don't. You can make life easy.
So do you have good nights with Bono and the Edge out in Dublin, or?
They were pretty much like they were cool people. It was kind of like they were over there. They were wasn't their party time of year, but it was in a way the bar at that point. The Clarence, the bar was the place to be. Dublin was having its moment, right? It was a Celtic type. It was the 90s. It was when like Chris Evans was hanging out. Everyone was there, and it was just like So that bar was incredible. So when you finished work, it was all on in that bar. They were very measured though. They had the apartment upstairs, and I think most things went on up there. And they're good guys. You know.
Good songwriters. I couldn't quite believe this. Maybe it's not right. Harvey Nichols in Istanbul.
Yeah.
Real story. Sometimes you don't know the CV.
I forgot about that. You're reminding me of things that I don't even know.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you just don't know this.
How did that happen? Okay, yeah, cool. This kind of follows on me. So I come out to Clarence, blah, blah, blah. And then I had a bit of a dark time. I went and lived on the side of a mountain in the west of Ireland with a really bad Xanax addiction for a while.
Right.
A very kind of bleak place, right? Did a lot of processing. And anyway, I came back to the UK and I was obviously I had some skills and I ended up working. An Irish mate of mine said he had this pub that had done very well, and Mitchells and Butlers had said to him, can you consult and open loads of pubs for us? And at that point, I'd have just looked down at that stuff. But pub, and he was like, look, just come and do it, charge him what you want and just do it for a bit, you know what I mean? And I'm like, okay. And Istanbul, and then through doing that I met someone called Pat MacDonald, old school. I think he had the first Michelin star in England when he was at the Cotswolds years ago. Stowe on the Wold. Patrick MacDonald, old school guy. Anyway, he had this consultancy thing and I got introduced to someone and they built Harvey Nichols in Istanbul, which was fucking mental in those days, right? This is another story. I mean, my daughter's she's 23. She's 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a great story actually. And so he's like, you ever been to Istanbul? And I'm like, where's that? And he's like, Turkey. I'm like, no, but fucking let's go. And at this point I'm pretty I'm out in the wilds at this point. I'm like, I'm game on. And so we get flown out there. It's amazing they did an amazing job, and it was a new development. Istanbul, it was the city then, right? It was happening. Madonna was hanging out there. The club scene was nuts. It was naughty, right? Not like what it is now. It was proper naughty. And so, with that comes a lot of money and a lot of power. And I remember
And Carl Clarke.
it's busy. It was like the biggest opening out there. It was a big job, and in some ways I kind of blagged it. I'd never done volume or I had 80 Turkish chefs. And it was like no one spoke English. You had one guy he's the guy that could only go out and get things for you. It was like pretty black money at this point. You know what I mean? And I used to get paid hard cash. And I remember the first month I was in there, and I'm kind of sat at a desk somewhere pretending to do something. This big envelope comes bottom on the table. It's like there's a lot of money in there, right? It's like 10 grand in this envelope, and I'm like, what's that? And go, that's you. And I'm like, what about cash? What cash? And they're like, that's what you're getting. And I'm like, fucking happy days. And that's it. It didn't end well. And so, like, you know, I'd spent, I was there for a year and a half, I think.
Yeah.
Had a good time. I think my life was in a very different place then. I was more interested in spending 10 grand a week and having fun.
So that was a week? Fuck me.
For a month or whatever.
Yeah,
but look, I had a great life. It was good, fun. The boss, Butch, I remember his name was. He was the chairman of Galatasaray as well.
Cool.
So it was quite fucking dark. And literally did fly models in from like Sofia, like rent planes and fly them in to come into the restaurant and everything. It was just opulence. It was just like. Did
you ever get into any trouble out there?
I got airlifted out, mate.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened?
Wherever I went, there was trouble behind me until I figured stuff out. I was growing up, you know.
Yeah.
I was extreme, you know.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun, but yeah, I wasn't the best version of me.
No. Well, you're looking absolutely beautiful now. Roganic, was that real?
I helped out, in London.
Just onwards and upwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I helped out. I was always around, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was just like, you know, Ben Spalding was someone like Ben, great guy, and then my friend Glyn is still my dear friend now, and Andy. I still know everyone. That was a great little kitchen. That was like, you know, jeans, aprons, and yeah, it's good fun. I helped out there.
So you're living quite a wild life, but you're not a liability in the kitchen?
No.
That was the thing?
Grafter.
Yeah.
Old school. Yeah. It's like ADHD, right?
Yeah.
Chronic. People with ADHD, they do drugs and they go quiet because it calms their brain. The other way around, they go nuts.
Yeah.
So I'm all right, you know, I'm focused in the kitchen, I'm old school, like, you know, I'm pedantic, I was like, I'm from that world of like chronic ADHD, labels in the fucking, like, I mean, you know, there was a point, I'd get people to show me their Sharpies if they weren't new, you're going home, you know.
Is that right, really?
Yeah.
So
I was like, you know, pedantic, labels have to be absolutely perfect, like, right clearly, labels in half, clearly on the box, everything facing out. You know, you could work at Chicken Salad. You could work in the kitchen in your socks.
Yeah.
Is that clean? Like, you know.
Well, we're going to get onto chicken salads, but quickly I've got to tell you about Blink, because I know you're not going to bring another Russian out. You say you're not. You probably will, hopefully, for all of us. But if you do, please use Blink. It's the greatest POS system in the world. It's built for hospitality, and now they do reservations, which integrates seamlessly with your POS system to give you true end-to-end control of the front of the house. Every booking walk-in becomes a valuable guest insight with deposits and pre-authorizations handled effortlessly. And there's real-time table tracking from arrival to bill, Ben, which I know you love.
I do.
This is just not another unique... This is not just another reservation system. The Blink POS and Blink reservations integration is genuinely unique and priced to outperform the market. And we're going to give you 2 free months with the code GOTOBLINK. So get yourselves booked into a demo.
It's one of your best runs at that.
I wouldn't say it was my best.
I know in terms of PB, it was quick.
Oh, sorry, yeah, in terms of split. Well, we've got so many great stories to celebrate.
Listen.
I was just thinking, if people are listening, they're going to want their fucking Blink reservation system. They know it's the best, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Thank you. That's what we need. Contractually, we just need the guest to say something.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, we don't get paid.
I thought it was a coffee shop at first. I was just thinking about that. That's Blank, isn't it?
Blank, Street.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is Blink.
No, I know
the one
it.
and only.
I know it well. It's
Yeah, yeah.
amazing.
It is amazing. Talk us about the days with David, then, all these supper clubs, because, you know, like Jesus fed the thousands. You fed 7,000 in 2 days at Latitude Festival. How crazy was that?
Oh, yeah. Fucking hell. I forgot about that too. So much of that going on. Again, Jonathan Downey, I think this is where David and I met, actually. Jonathan Downey had this idea of doing the first ever, I mean, this is before they were called, well, I don't even like this word, pop-ups, you know what I mean? A sit-down a la carte restaurant in a field at a festival. So, you know, he's kind of like, I'm like, yeah, okay. So I was getting to know Jonathan at this point and talking to him about other things. And I was there basically to help him out. We went there and the head chef went under. There was a lot of stuff going on. I just kind of jumped on the pass, right? And I could do volume. And literally there was like a sea of these tickets, like, you know, and I was just like stopped everything. David was on the front bit. I think they got David in to help consult on the restaurant bit, the front of the house and all that stuff, because he had an events company called The Recipe. So he was very kind of like learned around these big things. And I was just like, okay, let's just get through it. And I got the head down and I just plowed through it, cleared the board, and that's where we got to know each other. But we did about 7,000 people in 2 days.
Man.
I did it I did Latitude. I did it 3 times for JD, or twice, and that was it. Burnt.
Yeah.
You can't do it any more than that. Like it was full on, but so much fun.
How exciting was that time in London, the pop-up scene? Because obviously you are the godfather. You hate the word, but I'm going to have to say the word because most listeners need to have some sort of reference point.
They do.
But I mean, like English Laundrette, God Save the Clam, Invaders Must Die, Disco Bistro.
It was amazing. I mean,
They're
it
really
was
good
like,
names.
Yeah, thanks. It was amazing. It was like, you know, they were experiential, right? Immersive, kind of like, look, we had an idea. We were just like, wow, you know, what about the dinner party? You know, when there's dinner and there's a rave, right? Why didn't no one doing that? But then we figured out it costs money, right? Like, what do you mean fucking money? So, like, you got to rent things. You got to,
Yeah.
oh, we need to figure out how to do this cheap, you know. We didn't make any money. We just fucking did them. But we just came up. Thomas Keller was coming over with the French Laundry, right? And it was like, I think it was like 100 quid at that point. It's like 100 fucking quid. Like, let's do the English Laundry for a tenner. And we did this little thing. We did the whole place out in, I think it was just off Old Street, one of the galleries. We did it out like a 60s laundrette. We had Doc Cotton going around in the thing. It was really immersive. It was amazing. We had Lily Vanilli on the dessert trolley.
Yeah.
You know, every one of them had a kind of like non-conformist. They were basically punk, right? They were set up on a punk ethic. They were like food raves, more leaned towards the rave. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
food was great. We had really great food, and we did God Save the Clam on the roof, which was like we did it for the Queen's. The Queen's, what was it called? Jubilee.
Yeah.
Being Irish, you know, we turned her upside down and stuff like that. But we did God Save the Clam, which was amazing. And that's where, like, you know, that whole scene where Gizzy became friends and Gizzy was there and all those people, you know, it was all one big kind of movement, if you know what I mean. Like, people came, and we always thought, like, look, you know, food's only one part of the journey, right? The experience, you know, the vibe is important. You know, to us, it was always like the music, the food, the art, everything, people together. We just tried to bring it all under one roof in a way that hadn't been done before. You know, don't forget at that point, it was all music turned down, very quiet, kind of like it was either fine dining or brasserie. We just got rid of all that. We was like, you know, it's just a food rave, you know, buy a ticket, come in and good fun.
Can you give us a couple of dishes from someone?
Yeah. I remember doing the mixed grill, which was amazing, and it was when it started getting to foraging, and it was kind of like there was the venison Scotch egg. There was lots of forage stuff on there. I did this. Oh no, it was built around a 70s menu. That was it, and I think the first course was like it was back in the day, right? You get choice in the bed and breakfast or in a restaurant of orange juice or tomato juice, right? That was your starter, and I did this clear consommé, this tomato water. Spiked with something or other. That was it. And then we did like this like goat's cheese and pineapple. Remember cheese and pineapple on a stick? But I did it with pineapple weed jelly. You know, pineapple weed, went and foraged it, and we did it with a goat's cheese panna cotta. And then we did a mixed grill. So they were great. And then the clam one was amazing. We did these buckets, and it was just like, you know, like the southern clam bake.
Yeah.
It was like corn, Cajun style, all that stuff. What else did we do? We did God Save the Clam, English Laundry,
did so many things.
Disco Bistro, which was fucking amazing.
What about Chinese restaurant syndrome? Did that ever come to...
The most talked about Chinese restaurant that never happened actually made the double page spread in the Standard.
Go on.
I had no fucking intention of doing it, but I did at the time. It's a long story. I think probably absolutely inappropriate name now as well, right? And then, I really wanted to do it at the time, but we did this event on Selfridge's roof, and it just didn't come off.
No.
What's the syndrome from, though? You can explain that story.
Yeah, so basically MSG, right? So basically, there's nothing wrong with. We all know that now, right? And back in the 70s, this doctor termed it. It's called Chinese restaurant syndrome, and I thought, what a brilliant name for a Chinese restaurant, you know, and still is, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you were just going to be a Chinese... It was just
I
going to be
might do
Chinese.
another restaurant one day.
Come on.
It might be
Well,
called
we do
Chinese
Blink.
restaurant.
Blink would be
syndrome.
happy. But you went all around the world, New York, you know, Mahiki. I know that's another...
Oh, Mahiki, yeah.
New York
well,
Mahiki, yeah.
that's another funny story. So God Save the Clam became a bit of a permanent restaurant. So weirdly, Mahiki was popular in those days, right? It was like, you know, it's when the royals were hanging out there and all that stuff, and they asked me to do God Save the Clam at Mahiki, and all of a sudden I'm in Mahiki, mate. God Save the Clam. You reminded me of all these things I've forgotten about.
I'm sorry.
It didn't last long, but we did all right.
Yeah. It's interesting for it to be there. I'm just picturing Robin Gill there. Not at Mahiki, but at some of your pop-ups.
Where's Gilly?
I don't know. He's doing the Bloodshot.
Yeah.
No, that was after.
But I imagine that's inspired by what he witnessed at yours. Oh, that's what I want to.
Did he go to ours?
I feel like he did.
Know him.
Listen, let's say he did.
He's a beautiful Irish man. He likes to rave.
No, I know of him. Like,
yeah.
we've not really crossed paths, but like, I
feel like he would have been
there.
there.
A much more serious chef than I ever was.
Was Stevie Powell there?
Nah,
Stevie was.
I don't know. I don't know.
Stevie's from Birmingham.
He's a Birmingham. Yeah, he's from the posh end though. He's from Istanbul.
But you're talking about all these things that you're doing at that point. The food, like, it's fucking cool food. You've got to care about it to be coming up with it. Like, are you into it there?
No.
Or still not? It's
Yeah,
still
yeah,
just...
absolutely
No, you're
into
in.
it. Absolutely into it by that point. Yeah, of course. Like, obsessed by that point. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was cooking. Yeah, and loving it. I was cooking my food. I kind of like I'd stopped cooking other people's food. Like we were very good at taking. I think when I first was at Roganic and you pull a carrot from the ground and you cook it right and you put it on the fucking plate looking like a carrot from the ground. I come from a world where everything was trimmed down, lamb shoulders were made into different shape. I was just like, I don't even fucking like this. So I think consciously or unconsciously, I think there's a period of time when you're cooking for other people, you're just going through the motions. I don't think you like it. You're just cooking someone else's food. It doesn't mean you like it. You're just learning. You can't like everything. And if you do, I think you're lying. Yeah. So there's that point where you just start to do your own thing. And Disco Bistro was really the turning point where I think it started to become like, yeah, this is fucking good. Like, we did like we did a burger, it got world famous. That's where the fried chicken was born from, right? And we put so much work into it and science and all that stuff. And we just started to think, well, we can put as much effort and love and care and science behind this burger as we can with the Serena foie gras, the world that we've come to, and people actually like it a bit more. People come back for it a bit more.
And more people like it.
More people like it. So, and then I started to kind of like take that angle, like fast food, not rush food, right? And then I kind of started to explore lots of things. I did the lobster corn dogs, and I started to just kind of make food that people related to, like, and at that point I think like this is where food for me became like fashion. Like, it was taking really kind of classic techniques and knowing how to put flavors together, but kind of making it accessible to more people, breaking down that stuff,
and incredibly
culture, like,
yeah.
So cool.
And gave birth to Chicken Sales properly. I mean, you guys had an incredible run physically. Obviously now it's doing, what is it, sort of more events and stuff like that. But monetary-wise, that makes complete sense. We were with Mandy Yin the other day, so she was complaining about how much money Chicken Sales make now they've given up the restaurant.
I don't know. I don't have anything to share about the business side of things, but I would imagine that...
But I'm saying, just take Chicken Sales out of it as well. Like, so many more restaurants surely should be doing that.
Yeah, well, look, I'll go back to that line. Look, let's come into the present where I am now. I'm in QSR.
Yeah.
QSR for me is the future. Like, and like it or not, if you look at traditional restaurant model now, it's not investable. It's not no matter what the business is. Why would you? It's you're better off putting your money in a bond. It's much more safer. It used to be a 20% EBITDA business, right? If you work in the business, you're lucky if it's. We're not in the sexy fishes, right?
No.
You're lucky in the 3-4% on the grind. So you have to have a real passion for it. And I admire anyone that has that. You know. But if I think about QSR, it's very much like where I'm with it now. We'll talk about Disco Brands, which I'm about to do. It's very much for me. It's like fashion, right? So it's lifestyle first, best in class food here, because I'm selling to a demographic or connecting with a culture of people. The Solomon crew, right? The Gen Z and the alphas below them. I'm Adidas or Nike. And that excites me. Doesn't mean my food's worse or yours is better or we're better or worse. It's just different. Yeah. And, it's something that it took me a long time to understand and grow into, but it excites me, the high street. Like, it's extreme. Yeah. Margins are fucking small, but you've got to have deep, low people with that. It's an Uber model. Yeah. Right? It's tech. Yeah. And it's and I think food's moving towards more and more. You asked me if I wouldn't open a restaurant as well. Like, I've been thinking about this recently. Like, I think Instagram's got a lot to answer for, social media. Like, I think it's killed the chef in a way. Yeah. It's also like when I look at people opening restaurants now, it's like, look, we were very much keep the culture in the fucking kitchen. Like, I couldn't imagine now, like, having Instagram and being in my kitchen, you won't know. I put your phone away. If I caught you with the phone, you're fucking
Game
going
over,
home.
yeah.
And it's like, now I see people advertising for social media managers as part of their opening team. You're like, so then I think, and I read about these restaurants, I see them on social media, these I'll call them cooks, right?
Yeah.
Because, we'll talk about that. And I go and eat the food, and I'm like, there's a few basics missing here, like how to fucking season and cook food properly, right? But I'm in my grumpy old man stage of life, by the way, so I'm allowing myself.
I'm loving this. Keep going.
So you kind of like, you've missed this kind of like old kind of way that we learned how to cook through different people and all that stuff. You've jumped that bit, and all of a sudden you're a head chef. You've got a restaurant. Is
there anyone out there in restaurants that you see who you think like you could have plugged them into your bit, and they would have kind of risen to the top? Do you know what I mean? Into your era?
I mean, that's I don't know anyone. Some people personally.
No,
it's not reality what I'm looking at, right?
Yeah.
What I do think is like, I then question how much you all your focus should be in the kitchen and what you're cooking and what you're delivering to your customer, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
But you're on fucking social media 24/7, telling me what you're having for breakfast and your fucking wife and all this stuff.
Ben, stop doing that.
I'm just like,
listen, that's our game.
I then wonder how much how much does that dilute what you're doing?
Oh, it must do.
It's like, but it's very difficult for those guys as well. It's like, it's enough to do without worrying about that.
And all that stuff,
I mean, some prep list like that, it's fucking give me anxiety thinking about it, let alone having to go on Instagram and do whatever else there is now.
Yeah. And then try and compete in the business when no one's going out to eat.
Try and compete. Yeah.
It's a tougher climate now, yeah.
I think food is fast becoming, marketing brand with kitchens attached.
Yeah.
And that's just the nature of it, I think.
But you're thinking, fuck it, lean into that.
Well, listen.
As in, talking about the high street, talking about...
Yeah, I think, like, look, what excites me about the high street... let's talk about QSR. I think it's fatigued. I think the whole category is tired. It's run by old men. Even the likes of there's very successful QSRs. All the Americans are fucking coming here now.
They are, yeah.
There's no chicken left. You know what I mean? But if you look at it as a category, it doesn't really speak to a lot of Gen Z or Gen Alpha, definitely, right? For me, I think like the whole thing needs a rebrand, and what I mean by that is, it needs to move to more experiential retail, right? So I've been thinking about this thing, and I'm setting up this new company called Disco Brands, going back to my heritage. And Disco Brands is a brand creation platform, but for foreign territories, because you can't scale here. It's getting more and more difficult. But there are emerging markets in the world that I'm talking to that are very, very exciting. India being one, and Kuwait and Saudi being another. And what I love about with Disco Brands is ultimately we're a brand creation platform, and we are developing tech as well. So it's a kind of like, it's a bit of both, bit of a tech brand, but masquerading as a...
You getting your old mate Nick Jones involved?
Who?
Isn't he from Soho House?
Jones?
No, that's not my friend. That was a different story. But
what happened there?
No. I mean, that's nothing to do with me. So with Disco Brands, it's kind of like, creating these brands and this brand platform for QSR. The exciting thing is it's like fashion, right? So it's creating brands for that for the 3 billion, the next generation of 3 billion eaters, consumers that are not here yet, but they want to interact. Like, do you know a brand called Gentle Monster? I love Gentle Monster. They're glasses brand, South Korean.
Yeah.
You're on that.
Oh, one of them, yeah.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
And their stores
Very
are amazing.
exciting.
The brand's amazing.
Right.
It's all affordable, and they're just killing it around the world, right? And I think like when I think about QSR now, it needs to feel like a Gentle Monster store. It needs to feel techy. It needs to feel cool. It needs to feel fast. And it doesn't matter about your. It does matter about your food, but it's not so much about your food now. It's about
slightly
your
secondary.
culture,
Yeah.
your lifestyle, what you do. The food's important. It's process driven, QSR, but it doesn't mean it's bad. It's brilliant. We put a lot of effort into our food. It took a year before it even come on the menu. It goes through a lot of processes. So that's what excites me about QSR. That pace, the pace excites me.
Yeah.
The scale, right, and the challenges, and being able to engage with culture and lifestyle. I love brands. I love lifestyle. I love kind of learning about people. I'm curious.
It's very exciting.
So if I can bring it all together, it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
creative space.
Just to finish on Nick Jones, he wasn't involved, was he?
No, I mean, I
Leave
don't
Jonesy
know him.
out of
Well, I don't know what happened.
We bought nothing at all. No, we bought the chicken shop name from Soho House.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Well, Carl, you've been incredible. We're going to move on to a quick fire of go-to locations to finish off.
Go through.
Locations. We're just going to ask you a couple of places. You're going to say where you go. I know you were having a go about Queen's Park. You spent the day in Queen's Park. haven't you?
Fucking shit.
I did spend the day in Queen's Park, yeah.
Bench.
Yeah.
On
Anyway.
Kensal.
He's
Are
cancelled.
you?
Yeah. 13
Very
years.
bougie Queen's Park.
Very white.
Very white. Yeah.
Very white, listen.
Shit restaurants, apparently.
I'd agree with that. From
Yeah,
what-
it was very bougie. Like, no, it wasn't always. I was trying to record label in the 90s. You wouldn't walk up the road. It was very Irish, all those areas.
Really?
Yeah. And Kensal. I mean, I've been in Kensal 13 years. And it was like, everyone in the music biz, all the DJs back then had flats on Portobello that were 90k.
Yeah.
Sold them for 200, a lot of money then. Everyone moved to Kensal because the houses were 300k. And it was brilliant. It was just like music and creative. Kensal was just like the place to party place, you know. It's still rough around the edges. Now
Yeah.
it's like, you know.
That's just Ben.
I love it. It's my neighbourhood, you know. But Queen's Park, yeah, it became something else.
Yeah, I was shocked.
Well,
by how
shout out to
bougie it was.
Edith's because we like the restaurant there. Lovely.
Shout out to
No,
Edith's.
is that the little
The Italian
Italian.
spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that I want to go to. There's a little Malaysian that's not bad. I
Hmm.
just don't get down there. I was and the Lonsdale Road's become quite something. Joss has got a restaurant there, Camel. I went there. That was quite nice.
Yeah.
Carmel. You know, Josh from Burberry Q.
Yeah.
They've got one there. Yeah, Queen's Park's had a little moment, you know, but for years it was.
Yeah, agreed.
It's just not. Kensal's shit.
Did you ever go to the Dot Kitchen?
Yeah, I used to go a lot.
Yeah.
That's because I used to walk
But
down
Ben
the
was
road.
cooking your food.
I hope.
Were
Yeah, I
you?
was.
Yeah.
That's because I got really excited because there was somewhere I could eat. So you'd often see me sat there on my own having
Yeah.
lunch on a Saturday. I used
Yeah.
to love it. See Steve there and lockdown when he did the
When
plant.
you had joy and yeah,
That was brilliant.
good, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's the only place you can go and eat during
Yeah.
lockdown.
But you've written a book. You're sort of the god of chicken. Do you ever make
did
it
a
to a
book.
cock in Highbury?
The Cock?
Yeah.
The pub?
You take my
No,
cock out of
the
your
cock.
mouth.
The chicken rotisserie place in Highbury.
Listen, Carl.
Chicken rotisserie place?
It's a shame.
It was short-lived.
No.
It was a hell of a restaurant, Carl.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Precursor to chicken and sours. A lot of people
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Maybe I'd...
You invented the watermelon, didn't you?
I did actually have pickled watermelon on
Really?
the menu.
Did you? No, ours was basically somtam with watermelon,
Yeah.
right? It's Thai.
Oh yeah, no, I make it at home every day.
Ours was borderline inedible. Yours is better.
Yours wins out. Right, let's go locations. What is your go-to weeknight restaurant if you're going out for a quick meal weeknight?
I spend a lot of time, like, you know, one restaurant group that I love is Super 8. And because Ben and that, you know, I've hung out with them in Bangkok and I just like, they've got such integrity and that's what I search for. So, you know, if I'm down Shoreditch, I'm forever in, you know, I'm often in Smoking Goat.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, you know, I get more excited about the Vittles list these days than I do about posh restaurants opening. I'm 80-90% of my diet's Asian.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, you know, I've got my little pockets of places that I'm just going to gatekeep, man. You know,
Really?
I'll give you one. One called Med Salat in Queensway, Malaysian, that I
Yes.
adore. That I'm in there quite a lot. You know, there's a place that do Regamo in Holborn. Holborn's become quite the little Chinese kind of manner. Chinatown's fucked, but Holborn's where it's at now, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Smoky Goat, I think, is probably my most eaten restaurant if I'm down that way at lunchtimes.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't like going out for dinner anymore. I'm in my old man stage
No.
of life.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Now and again.
if you go for a blowout and it can be a lunch or a dinner, big celebration. Where are you going?
It's a big one. I think restaurants are subjective, aren't they? Like, for like many different reasons. I think like, I don't know, man. Like, that's a tough one. I've been to so many fucking good restaurants like recently. What do you mean? Like, if I'm getting like,
Something big happens. You want to like go and have a celebratory supper, take someone you love, celebrate with them. Where are you going?
that's a fucking big one. I'm for the first time I'm stuck for something. To
Well, it's
say,
beautiful to see.
you know?
You be silenced by silencer.
Yeah.
Well,
Listen, think
forget
on
that
it.
then. What about if you're taking us on a foodie weekend? Where are you going to go?
Well, we're traveling.
Which city? Yeah, which city?
In the UK.
Anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
So it's a Bangkok, bro.
Yeah.
Come on.
Or Taipei in Taiwan, which is amazing. Funny story. Well, not funny story. My book got published in Taiwan and sold out as well, but it got translated into Chinese. It's
Really?
a black version. So I'm pretty famous in Taiwan.
Cool.
Wow.
Right, you know?
Go on then. Can you put us together a little 48 hours?
Yeah.
Like where would you be eating?
Bangkok. Let me do the Bangkok.
Yeah, go on.
Wherever.
I think
You're too famous in Taiwan. Do Bangkok.
Bangkok is good because like this year I made a real kind of like I've been 4 times this year.
Yeah.
And this trip I'm not exhausting myself running around trying to find the next restaurant. I know everyone that got the restaurants anyway, but I know all the soys, all the aunties down the soys, and that's really where it's at.
Yeah.
Like, all the Istanbul food down the soys,
Yeah.
and that's what's exciting. All the old shops,
Beautiful.
Yeah. So I think Bangkok is the most exciting city for me, in my opinion, that I've been to. I travel a lot in the world right now. It's just mind blowing.
We need to get out there. Ever seen Lukey Farrell?
I know Luke. Yeah. I don't know him. I know of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's out there. Yeah.
Have you tried his food in London?
Yeah. Plaza I like a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, out of the Thai scene, I think
Thank you.
Tom Sara good. They've been around for a long time. Obviously, Smoking Goat's Northern. If I want Southern Thai, it's got to be Plaza. They're the only ones that do Southern Thai.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah. I mean, look. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, Clarke, you're an absolute legend. Thank you so much for coming in. We're going to have to get a part 2. Maybe when we go out to India together.
India.
We're going to invest in the company.
Yeah, man.
So.
Curious that we're out.
Yeah.
Hey,
We're already in.
listen.
We're out of money.
So were you out there recently with Luke? Was one of
No.
you out?
No,
you're
that's
thinking of
actually
Hungry
you're
Body.
thinking of Hungry Body, which is
Let's get
actually
out to Bangkok.
that's quite
He's a
rich.
more
Right.
handsome
Yeah.
podcaster.
That's actually
Mate, we'll come and make a film in
Let's go.
Bangkok with you.
let's do it.
Let's get Rollo out there.
Oh,
Yes,
listen,
let's get
we'll
Rollo
bring
out there.
Rollo. We'll bring a
Yeah,
young
yeah.
gentleman called Jamie and Scotty.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
2 gentlemen.
Well, we are going to finish up. Ben, how are we going to do it?
Well, why don't we find out your go-to 3-course meal? Greatest 3 or the greatest 3-course you could put together. I don't like saying a final meal, Freddie.
I do.
The greatest meal that I've had recently was in a restaurant in Bangkok called Aki,
Yeah.
Akkee, and it's incredible. And it's on a highway, way out of town.
Christ.
And the guy used to work for David Thompson. And there's a handful of these cool chefs in Bangkok now. Prim from Samrab, the guy from Aki, my friend from 8020. Then you've got the Sauna 3-star Patong. And it was just amazing. And it was his family. It was his old family's beer hall, basically, on the highway that he's turned into this restaurant. And he's got an insect program as well. Lots of stuff going on there. There was like stingless bee honey, and it was just fucking amazing. So I think, what did we have that was good? I think for me, it's got to be Thai, right? And it's got to be. It can't be starter, main course, or dessert. It's got to be a table full of like gang som. Different sometimes. Thai food's amazing because it's different textures, right? Heat levels and bits of food. It's got to be a table full of
It's a Thai spread.
Good Thai food, yeah. And I think for me, out of the Thai food, I think Isan is my favourite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Dark, dank.
Well, Clarke, you've been absolutely incredible, mate. Thank you so much. The greatest storyteller we've ever had on the show in over 2 years. So thank you so much for coming on. Guys, don't forget to use that Blink code. Carl's definitely used it. So you, Ben, if you ever get back in the game. But until then, what song do you want us to play you out with? You can pick any song.
Oh, I've got a brilliant one. So let's go with Electronic, Getting Away With It All My Life.
Beautiful.
I think it's a good play out after this.
That's great. Thank you.
12-inch version.
Oh, thank you, Carl. That was brilliant, mate.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
That was
You reminded me of
absolutely
so many things that I'd not done before.
Mate, it's beautiful.